The Eminent Scholar and the Man. Bored during a long flight, an eminent scholar woke up the sleeping man alongside him to ask if he would like to play a game. "I'll ask you a question," he explained, "and if you don't know what the answer is, you pay me $5. Then you ask me a question, and if I don't know the answer, I'll pay you $50. When the man agreed to play, the scholar asked, "What's the distance from the Earth to the Moon?" Having no idea, the man handed him $5. "Ha!" announced the scholar. "It is 384,392 kilometers. Now it's your turn." The man was silent for a few moments. Then he asked, "What goes up a hill with 3 legs and comes down with 4? Puzzled, the scholar racked his brains for an hour to no avail. Finally he took out his wallet and handed over $50. "Okay, what is the answer?" The man said, "I don't know," pulled out a $5 note, handed it to the scholar and went back to sleep. Lawyers are worried. A lawyer was opening the door of his BMW when suddenly a car drove into the door, causing it to be completely torn off. When the police arrived at the scene, the lawyer was complaining bitterly about the damage to his precious BMW. "Officer, look what they did to my Beamer," he groaned. "You lawyers are so materialistic, it makes me sick," the officer retorted. "You were so worried about your stupid BMW that you didn't even realize your left arm was injured. Sold expensive." "Oh my God," the lawyer replied, finally noticing his bloody left shoulder where his arm used to be. "Where is my Rolex?" "There's nothing I can do about it." A customer moves away from a bank window, counts his change, and then goes back and says to the cashier, "Hey, you gave me the wrong change." "Sir, you stepped away from the counter," said the cashier. "We don't make corrections after you leave." "There's nothing I can do about it now. That's the policy of this bank." "Well, okay," answered the customer. "Just thought you'd like to know that you gave me an extra 20. Bye." 4. Why do you want to live to be 100? A man asked the doctor if he would live to be 100 years old. The doctor asked the man, "Do you smoke or drink alcohol?" "No," he replied, "I never did either." "Do you gamble, drive fast, or play around with women?" the doctor asked. "No, I've never done those things either." "Then," said the doctor, "why do you want to live to be 100? Parrot buying. A man goes into a pet shop to buy a parrot. The shop owner points to 3 identical-looking parrots on a perch and says, "The parrot to the left costs $500. "Why does the parrot cost so much?" the customer asks. The owner says, "Well, it knows how to use a computer." The customer asks about the next parrot and is told that one costs $1,000 because it can do everything the other parrot can do, plus it knows how to use the Unix operating system. Naturally, the increasingly startled man asks about the third parrot and is told that one costs $2,000. Needless to say, this begs the question, what can it do? To which the owner replies, "To be honest, I have never seen it do a thing, but the other 2 call him boss." Where is my wheelchair? A man is at the bar, really drunk. Some guys decide to be good Samaritans and get him home. So they pick him up off the floor and drag him out the door. On the way to the car, he falls down 3 times. When they get to his house, they help him out of the car and he falls down 4 more times. They ring the bell, and one says, "Here's your husband." The man's wife says, "Where the hell is his wheelchair?" Buying a TV. One day a blonde walked into a second-hand store and asked the clerk, "How much is that TV in the window?" The man said, "I'm sorry. I don't sell stuff to blondes." So she walked out. The next day she came in as a redhead. She asked how much the TV was in the window again. And again he said he didn't sell things to blondes. The next day she came in again and asked for the 3rd time how much the TV was. The man said, "For the final time, I don't sell stuff to blondes." She said, "How did you know I was a blonde?" He said, "That's not a TV. It's a microwave." The NC 3-kick rule. A Yankee lawyer went duck hunting in eastern North Carolina. He shot and released a bird, but it fell into a farmer's field on the other side of the fence. As the lawyer climbed over the fence, an older gentleman asked him what he was doing. The lawyer replied, "I shot a duck, it fell into this field, I'll go pick it up." The old farmer replied, "This is my house, you can't come here." The lawyer said indignantly, "I am one of the best trial lawyers in America, and if you don't let me have that duck, I will sue you and take everything away." The old farmer smiled and said, "Obviously you don't know how we do things in North Carolina. We settle small disagreements like this with NC's 3-kick rule." The lawyer asked, "What is the NC 3-kick rule?" The farmer replied, "Okay, first I kick you 3 times, then you kick me 3 times, and so on, back and forth until someone gives up." Lawyer Yankee quickly thought about the proposed contest and decided that he could easily get the old Southerner. He agreed to follow local customs. The old farmer slowly got off the tractor and walked towards the townspeople. His first kick drove the toes of his heavy work boots into the Yankee lawyer's groin and brought him to his knees. His second kick nearly blew the man's nose off. The lawyer lay on his back when a third kick to the farmer's kidney nearly made him give up. Lawyer Yankee mustered all his will and stood up and said, "Okay, you rude old Southerner, now it's my turn." The old North Carolina farmer smiled and said, "No, I give up. You can have the duck." Creative. This man was getting ready for bed when his wife told him that he had left the light on in the garden shed, which she could see from the bedroom window. Then he looked for himself and found someone in the warehouse stealing things. He called the police, but they said there was no one to help in his area, so he said okay, then hung up, counted to 30 and then called the police again. "Hello. I just called you a few seconds ago because there were people in my warehouse. You don't have to worry about them now because I just shot them all." Within 5 minutes there were half a dozen police cars in the area, an armed response unit. Of course, they caught the thieves red-handed. One of the policemen said to this man, "I thought you said that you'd shot them." He replied, "I thought you said no one was available." A disabled veteran. A retired general hired a new secretary. She was young, sweet, and polite. One day, While writing the general's words, she noticed that his pants zipper was open. When leaving the room, she courteously said, "Oh, by the way, sir, did you know that your barracks door was open?" He didn't understand her remark, but later, he happened to look down and saw his zipper was open. He decided to have some fun with his new employee. Calling her into his office, he asked, "By the way, Miss Jones, when you saw my barracks door open, did you also see a soldier standing at attention?" The secretary replied, "Why no, sir, but I did see a little disabled veteran sitting on 2 duffel bags." Thank you for your listening.